trauma healing. So, welcome to today's episode. I have not done one of these for a while, and I was just figuring while I had a few minutes, I would do an episode of From My Heart to Yours. So, today I wanted to talk about I will not be last anymore. Now, I know that this message will be telling for a lot of people. Um, I'll just speak for myself. Coming from where I came from, I always came from where I was only allowed to be last because I was always taught that, to give to others, especially your relatives, to give in a romantic relationship, to give to your children, to give to your job, to give everything that you have. But when we give everything that we have to a job, to whoever is in our lives, what do we have left for ourselves? And that's why I wanted to have this conversation and to give this message today. Let's stop putting ourselves last. I know what it feels like to have responsibilities. I know what it feels like to be so many people, for to be so much for so many people. But the thing that we each have to learn as women and as men is that we have to be healed. We have to be happy, and we have to put in the work to make ourselves happy. Now, with that part being said, we also have to have a healthy mindset and a healthy mentality. And that's something that I know for me. I don't know all of you individually, but one thing I know for sure is that we have to learn how to treat ourselves. We have to learn that I don't have to be last. I don't have to be last on people's list. I don't have to make to be feel like I am nothing or I'm insufficient or they're only available for me when they can receive something back from me. So that is the healing part, is understanding that right there. I will not be the last on everybody's priority list, whoever people are, from relatives to friends to romantic relationships. If people don't know how to value me, then I need to learn to value myself as well. And I think that that's something that is so important. We have to train people how to treat us. And unfortunately, so many people don't know how to treat themselves. They don't respect themselves. They don't know anything about boundaries, and they don't care about what you personally need. But you are the one that has to assert yourself. You're the one that has to show up for you. So that's a learned behavior. And I hope that this message will resonate with somebody and make someone feel that they are important, they are special, and let's stop putting ourselves last. Especially, I have to say, when it comes to relatives. That's one category of a very sticky and touchy category of people. While we love our relatives, at the same time, we have to love ourselves. We have to have those boundaries in place. And it's not that we don't love them, but we have to love ourselves enough to say, I got to take care of my mental health. I got to take care of my physical health. And if some people in our lives, if they're toxic, dysfunctional, rude, manipulative, then I have to push you out of my life in order for me to be my best self. Now, that was not something that just came about just like that. That took me a lot of energy. It took me a lot of time. It took me stepping into my faith. It took me loving myself enough to say, I will not be last anymore. Now, I know that there are some, whether live or maybe in the replay, that you always put yourself last. And a lot of times we put ourselves last because there's nobody around us that is stepping up to the plate to support us, to help us. So you have to carry the weight, and that's just how life is. But also, I wanted to encourage every single one of you. Hi, Kayla, how are you? Welcome. My day is going great. I hope yours as well. I had to learn that part. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn first how to be my own friend. Now, that's why this is from my heart to yours, because as a woman, I had to learn how to be my own friend, and that's so hard when you don't grow up. Thank you so much, Kayla. I had to learn how to show up for myself. I had to learn that I was enough, even if people around me didn't treat me like I was enough. That's the healing part. That's a journey that I think everybody goes through your entire life. Is some days you wake up feeling good about yourself and some days you don't, you know. And that's the reality, okay? So, that's one thing. We have to learn how to show up for ourselves and all of those things. So, you know, don't worry about what other people may have to say about you. Hi, Maddie. How are you doing? Hi, Melinda. Hi, Tracy. Welcome in. I appreciate you all being here. Happiest of Sundays to everybody. And I wanted to say to you all that you each deserve to be respected, you deserve to be loved. You deserve for people to show up for you. But first, you got to do some of that healing. And that's why I dedicated this channel to trauma healing. And I talk about this on a regular basis. Some live streams and some videos is just me solo, and other times I have a guest host. But my reoccurring co-host is Miss Nexie, and we do the sip and chat on Thursdays between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But today I wanted to talk about it from my heart to yours. We have to stop being last. Now, here's our honest moment that I want you guys to think about. Have you been putting yourself last when it comes to maybe your kids, or when it comes to your kids, or it comes to maybe a romantic relationship, or your friends, or maybe on your job? Sometimes, unfortunately, we have people in our lives that don't appreciate us. And I think that's a hard thing to say out loud. It's even hard for me until this day to say out loud that people that I love don't love me back. Because in our minds, we think that people love us the way we love them. We think that people care about us because we care about them, but it does not always transfer. People don't always love us because they say the words. It's more so about the action. And that's why I do these topics from my heart to yours, for us to really begin thinking about ourselves. How do I feel? How am I treated versus the verbiage, versus the words? It's I wouldn't say it's easy for people, but it's very telling when a person says they love you, when a person says they care about you, when a person says, I would do anything for you, or if you need anything, just let me know, versus what people actually do. So, what are some of the sacrifices that people make in your life to show up for you? Most of us can only count on one hand good people that are supportive and kind and understanding and want you to take care of yourself. They'll kind of encourage you and push you. Hey, when's the last time you did whatever it is that you love to do that fills up your cup and makes you feel good about yourself? It wasn't until I went to therapy that I learned that it was not selfish to do things for myself, whatever it is that you need at the time, you know? Um, Hi Dixon, how are you doing? Welcome in. I figured that I'll just say it this way. In my upbringing, I didn't grow up having people tell me to set boundaries. I didn't have people saying that there's going to be users and you're going to have to cut those users off, because people will use you as long as you let them keep using you back, right? So that was one of the things Thank you so much, Scrubby. I really appreciate it. Oh, your name is Dixon. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. That's one of the things that I personally had to learn. I had to learn how to be my own friend. I had to learn how to support myself. And so I say that to all of you as well. You have to honestly learn how to show up for yourself. You have to learn how to be your own friend. You have to learn to set boundaries. My boundaries aren't going to be yours, you know? So that was something that on a regular basis, I always remind myself of that. Hi, Clint. How are you doing? I always remind myself of that to just be myself. And I say that to you all too, as well, ladies and gentlemen. Show up for yourself or respect yourself, even if maybe that was not your upbringing. I didn't grow up in that environment of loving yourself, doing kind things for yourself. But as we get older, we have to stop pointing our fingers and blaming, your parents or your ex or this person and that person. And that is the reason why I dedicated myself to this channel, and why I called it Love Marlene 401, because I had to first learn how to love me. And then I was able to give the 411 to other people. Thank you so much for the gift. I really appreciate it. Um, Hi, Nick Games. Welcome in. So that was something that I personally had to learn. We all are different, and I respect where everybody is individually. Some people need to work on healing their childhood trauma. Um, some people need to work on their mental health. Everybody is, different. So, that's one of the things that I think is so important, is that whatever is going on in our life, whatever you have been through, um, that we each have to respect ourselves. Okay. So wherever you have been through, whatever you're going through, whatever somebody else did to you, not that it's okay, but we learn lessons. We learn that some people are in our life for a season to grow us up, to mature us. And then, oh, thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, so that's something that I want to encourage every single one of you. Um, and that's why I always want to encourage you guys over and over again. And I will never stop telling you guys this, because that's what I have dedicated my channel to, telling you guys, no matter what you have been through, no matter who hurt you, no matter who makes you sad, no matter what other people may talk about you and say you're this, you're that, and the other. But today is a new day. And we're going to have a positive attitude. We're going to heal either your inner child, we're going to be at peace with ourselves, but we are the only one that has to say that. And I have to say, I respect that about myself. It took me a while to get to this space as a woman, to say I respect myself enough to give myself some compassion, and forgive the people who hurt me, not because I'm saying what they did to me was right, you know. Hi, the battle zone. How are you doing? Um, I just had to say, I forgive myself. I forgive other people. And also at the same time, I love myself enough to let people go out of my life that hurt me, you know? Thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Um, let's see. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? You know what? As a human being within myself, too, I'm glad that you're here and we came across one another to live in peace with yourself. It isn't an immaculate thing. Yeah, it's difficult, you know? It's very difficult. Hi, Ambatha, how are you? It's difficult. Yeah. Blessings, Nate. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. It is such a difficult thing to be in this life and to not have people who support you or respect you or love you or are doing those things. Hi, Derek. But we have to learn how to do those things for ourselves. I had to learn how to be my own friend. I had to learn how to have good and healthy relationships. Like, if people didn't know how to be my friend, if people, even your relatives, people call them family, but I call them relatives. If people who are related to you by blood don't know how to give you respect, then that's the end of it, you know? So, that's one of the things that I just continue to keep my joy. I continue to keep my peace. I continue to not let any negativity bring me down. I refuse. And anybody like myself that has worked hard on themselves, like, I put myself in therapy, and it's one of the best decisions that I have ever made in my life, you know? So that's one of the things that um, I just continue to keep going. Thank you so much, Clint. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, the battle zone. Be your friend first, and then you can be the best example to others. But how many of us know how to do that? Uh, Most of us don't. How many of us have, parents or grandparents or friends or even in a romantic relationship that know how to um, give you back, fill up your cup, think about what you want and what you need. Most relationships are very toxic in that all they care about is, are my needs met? Am I getting what I want? So that's the thing that I wanted to have this conversation today for us to talk about this. And I'm not just saying women only. I'm also speaking to the men, my gentlemen. Take care of yourself too. Make sure you're loving yourself, taking care of your physical, emotional, financial, spiritual health. You got to take care of you first before you can give to others. And there are a lot of people, that's the reason why they're so miserable, is because they have not learned that secret. And it is a secret. You first have to learn how to love, have that inner love. You have to be at whatever you call it, your zen place, your peaceful place, loving yourself before you can do that for others. Yes. Hi, Abraham Lincoln. How are you doing? Where do I come from? I am in Florida. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hurt people hurt people. So that's one of the things that I just will continue to say. Um, be your best self. Never give up. you know Ignore all of the people who are haters. Ignore all of the people that try to bring you down, try to try to bring confusion to your mind. Remove it. I remove all negativity. I remove all doubters. I remove all haters. All of the people who are not positive, I remove them and I rebuke them. And that's the end of it. At the end of the day, I refuse to allow anybody to stop me from my purpose of loving myself. And it's one of the reasons why I became a life coach. You know, um, that's one of the things that I continue to um, never stop. You know, I continue to never stop. I continue to be myself. I continue to love myself. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Yeah. So I continue to love myself. I continue to be my best self. And I will never stop doing that because it's my goal in life that once I became healed, once I loved myself, once I said, Some things that happen in life really mess us up, really get us down, really get us discouraged. But I will not allow any negativity. I will not allow people who hate themselves. I won't allow it in my space. I will not allow anybody to stop me from my happiness, because that's an inner thing. You have to be happy inside before you can be happy on the outside. And a lot of people have it wrong. They think that material things, a romantic relationship, um, education, and not that I'm against any of those things. You guys don't come for me or anything like that. But people put so much focus on other things aside from just loving yourself for who you are and how you were made. Okay. Hi, Jose. How are you? So that was one thing that I had to work on healing that. And it wasn't until I learned how to love myself. It wasn't until I was okay with me, and now I could care less who likes me. I can care less who supports me. I can care less to who, wants to be around or says negative things about me, because when you start taking care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen, filling up your cup, showing up for yourself, doing the things that you need to do so you can be okay, mind, body, and spirit. I have been so much happier. I don't know about you guys, but once I started doing that trauma healing, and people can ignore it all they want to. You can say, "Oh, my parents or my ex or this person." When people hurt you or you go through some trauma, it's going to affect you. It is going to affect you. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you're fine, Jose. Greetings, chat mods, first lady. Yes. Thank you guys so much. So that's the thing that I just wanted to encourage every single one of you, to never let your situation define your mindset. Mindset is something that each and every one of us has to make a choice. You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose to let go. You have to choose to heal. You have to choose to love yourself. And you also have to choose to make better choices. And that is the thing that most people don't want to do. They don't want to be accountable. It's much easier to blame your parents or your ex or this person. And yes, many people in our lives have hurt, have done wrong to us, but we can't put all of the blame on them. Now, as an adult, it's time for us to be responsible, to stand up and to say, this is my life. And if I am unhappy, I'm going to do that inner work. I'm going to do that healing on my inside to make myself happy. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the sauce right there. That's the secret sauce. You have to choose for yourself to be happy. Mm-hmm. Beautiful brick news. You have a beautiful mindset. Thank you so much. Yes, never let your situation define your mindset. Don't. So much people will try. I have to tell you guys that there has been so many obstacles that has come in my way of my life. And if I wanted to make an excuse, you know, um, if I wanted to make an excuse in this life, then I could have made it, right? I could have made an excuse for why I did this or that. I could have made an excuse to be overweight. I could have made an excuse to stay in a very toxic, manipulative, abusive relationship. I could have just settled for friendships that they were really frenemies. But when I said I'm going to stop being last, I'm not going to let people walk over me. I am not a doormat. And I say that to each of you too. You're not a doormat. Okay. You're not a doormat. You're not a loser. You don't have to settle. You don't have to be disrespected. No, you don't have to be disrespected. You don't have to keep taking what other people want to give you. You don't have to take the little crumbs, the remnants that other people want to give you. When I learned to elevate my standards, when I learned to love myself, then I became a better person. I became a happier person, you know? Yeah, that's what it is, Nate. It is what it is. I love them all, even when they don't love me. That is the healing part. uh that I think this topic is so important to so many people. Even when people dislike you, dislike me, you know it's a projection. People project their fears, people project their insecurities. People don't like to see you happy, they don't want to see you smiling, people don't want to see you successful. I remember when I started going to therapy and I had friends, they're really frenemies, right? And I had relatives, and I had in a romantic relationship at that time that was very toxic. They didn't understand, why do I want to get help? It's like, you can help yourself. No, you can't. Some things that are so very heavy and traumatic and difficult, you need some help from some other people. So that was one of the things that I wanted to say to each and every one of you, to not allow the negativity, to not allow your situation, to not allow haters. Your past doesn't define your present. You're the one that defines your present. And I am so grateful to be at that space in my life that I can say that with my chest. I say it not because I read it in a book, but because I lived it. There were days I didn't want to get out of bed. There are days where I wish the sun wouldn't come up, because I was in that dark of a space because of so many years of abuse, so many years of disrespect, so many years of trauma, and being very sad. Hi Dizzy, how are you doing? Yeah, but the thing about it is that when I started to learn to be my own friend, when I started to set boundaries and say, no, I don't want to do that. No, that's not a friend. When you start doing good things for yourself, you will find out the people who really want to be in your life. When you start healing, when you start being positive, when you love yourself, the people who don't love you, or the people who are faking it, they will out themselves. They will show that they don't want you to win. When you start winning, when you start becoming happier, when you take better care of yourself, when success starts to come your way, all those people who aren't meant to be in your life will identify. They will identify themselves. The mask will slip off. Toxic people always identify themselves. They will question why you go to therapy. Why are you happy? Why did you gain weight? Because you're taking care of yourself. Because you're showing up for yourself. Because there are rules to be in my life. See, and that's what a lot of people don't like. When you give them rules now, nope, you can't just fall out of my life. You can't just ghost me, disrespect me, run over me, and then think you can come back and be in my life. Absolutely not. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, is set some standards. And I know this is the end of the year, and I know many people are having to do with so many things, relatives, the drama, the arguments, the manipulation, the toxicity. We all have relatives and friends and jobs, and even some of you, a romantic relationship, whether you're dating or you're married, that is not healthy. And I'm speaking because I know, I know and can identify dysfunction. I know toxicity. I know the manipulators, the gaslighters, the narcissists. I've had my share of all of them in my life. And that's why I can stand here today as a life coach, that I've overcome all of it, not on my own, through therapy, through friendship, through faith, through good, positive people. And you guys can do it too. So I circle back to the beginning of today's conversation. Stop putting yourself last. Ladies, if you're a mother, if you're an auntie, a grandma, a friend, if you're a wife or a girlfriend, if you're somebody that all these other people, we have to also make sure you're taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. There may be times where you have to turn your phone off so that you can show up for yourself first. I have those times where I need to be in bed resting. I don't want your negative energy in my space of healing. When I'm sleeping or when I'm thinking about some other things that I want to do or I have to do. No. You have to also train people that I need my time. Don't always open your access to everybody. No. The battle zone says I can relate. I was a very thank you, Duke. I was in a very toxic relationship that ended in divorce. I went to the emergency room and changed my do not resuscitate. I want to live a wonderful and productive lifestyle. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did well. And I know that it's not easy, you know? Hi, Duke. How are you doing? Welcome. So that's something that I just wanted to say to you all. I haven't done one of these from my heart to yours, but when I do them, I know that there are many who are going to benefit from this conversation, and this is one of them. And also I want to talk to some of the my gentleman audience. Okay, and I want to say to every single one of you, okay, that you deserve to be respected too. You deserve for people to love you back. You deserve to have good friends, okay? And that's one of those things that I want to say to every single one of you. You deserve to not only um, be a friend, but also to be friended. You deserve for people to show up for you. Okay. So that's something that's important, but have to possess that. One thing that I had to learn for myself is I had to be I had to be my own friend. And I had to learn what that looks like. What do I need from myself first? Okay. I had to learn what does Marlene need? And you need to ask yourself that too, ladies and gentlemen. What do you need? What do you want? What do you desire? And do the people in your life provide that? And if they don't, I want to ask you this question. Why do you keep allowing them to stay? See, and that started my healing journey in my life, to be honest with you. I didn't like the way relatives or friends or even my romantic relationship, I didn't like how I was being treated, and I was always put last. And if I asked for anything, they would call me selfish or mean or that they're busy. See, and the interesting thing is they expect for you to jump and be ready whenever they need you, right? They want to have access to your business. They want to have access to your money. They want to have access to your time. But when it comes to what you personally need, see, this is the toxicity, the manipulation, the gaslighting. But they're not going to give you their time. They're definitely not going to give you their money. They're not going to show any emotional support. All of that. It's cold as ice with those individuals. So it's a learning thing. Okay. Thank you. Peace and blessings. Yes, blessings to you as well. So, what are you saying? We should be selfish in a constructive way? Yes, I've already been through all this. It's manipulative nonsense. Yes. So, what I'm trying to say is that we each have to learn what we want and then do that. It may mean that you're going to lose some people in your life. My list of friends, my list of people who are relatives who have access to me has definitely diminished because I'm not going to be last. I'm not going to be treated badly. I will not be disrespected. I will not let people backstab me and disrespect me and then still stay in my life and me walk around with a smile on my face. No, I'm not. I had to learn that I wasn't going to be phony. I was going to be honest with me first. And if they don't know how to treat me, then there's the door. You can go, you know? Hi, Caesar. How are you doing? So that's just something that I just wanted to share with every single one of you. I only wanted to be on here like 15 minutes and I've already gone over my time, but I wanted to say to every single one of you to love yourself. That's the message for today. And that's the message every day. When I hit this button and I go live, my motivation, my inspiration, my healing journey that I'm trying to, give to every single one of you is to show up for yourself, set boundaries, love yourself, and give yourself the permission to heal from whatever hurts you, from whoever backstabbed you, whoever disrespected you. Is taking the time. You know, I first started off saying, I'm sick and tired of being angry. And for some of us, we have a lot of reasons to be angry from childhood or certain things in life that maybe you didn't receive that you feel that you deserved. But you, as an adult now, have to give yourself that permission to be what you need to be right now. We can't do anything about the past or what whoever did to hurt you. All we can do is be in this moment, in our present, and doing the best that we can to move forward. Okay. So, I'm going to tap in on another live on another day, and we're going to talk about some things about abuse and healing from abuse. But I think the next time we're going to stay on healing from a verbal abuse, because I think that's a very important topic. I think next Sunday at the same time, like about 7, maybe 6:45, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll go into that topic. So I'm sending you all positivity. I'm sending you all peaceful vibrations. I want you to be your best. Just like I remember when I started on my journey, and I remember when my therapist said to me, happy healing journey. Every day is different. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. You'll have sad days, you'll have days you'll feel depressed. You'll have days where you're feeling amazing, but don't give up, okay? Yes. This is awesome and I feel better again. This is wonderful. Thank you, Battle Zone. So I just want to say to every single one of you, be your best, love yourself, never give up, keep on pushing, and have positive people around you. This is very important and essential in your journey. Have positive people around you. If you have people who are always complaining, always using either you or other people, bringing negative energy, all that's going to do is drain you. And if there are people in your life that really hurt you, I'm asking for you to give yourself the chance, give yourself the opportunity that it's time to let that go. It's time for me to stop carrying around this anger, this resentment. And I'm only saying it because I had to do that myself. I had to forgive a lot of people in my life. Not that I forgive them and I let them stay in my life, but I forgive them so that I can move on with my life, so that I no longer had anger, that I could have peace in my life. And every person that I meet and greet, I can greet with peace, love, and wish people blessings and joy in their life. But you got to be that. You got to be at peace to give peace. You got to be at love to give love. So That's the message for today. Thanks so much for tuning in to From My Heart to Yours. I wish you guys a happy healing journey. I am Love Marlene 411, your life coach, and I thank you so much for tapping into today's live stream. If there's anything that you guys, other topics you guys want to talk about, put that on the community tab. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and join my channel membership. It starts at 99 cents. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to my channel members and to all of my new loved ones. Welcome to the Loved Ones family. We're a family here and we encourage, we heal, we grow, we laugh. We talk about all kinds of serious topics from abuse to disrespect to all of it. So, wishing you guys nothing but positivity on this Sunday. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Don't let the haters, don't let the negativity, don't let the people who doubt you, the ones who want to project their insecurities onto you, don't let them get in your head and get you down. Rise above the foolishness, okay? And take your power back, okay? I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.